So a lot of this video is going to be about fear. The whole concept of the opposite of fear is love, which is the love that we receive from the Most High God. And with that is basically knowing that God has got your back. God will never leave you nor forsake you when you're going through any type of trial or tribulation, and probably more than likely the spirit realm. But because our battle is not with flesh and blood, it's with spiritual principalities in high places, and therefore the battle is beyond me. The battle is beyond me. And so it can seem like the battle is between people, like the people that you have escaped from, the toxic individuals that you have escaped from, and where you're now starting over, you're starting your new life. But there's always this kind of nagging entity over there that's bothering you or trying to get you out of your peaceful place, trying to steal your joy. So there's ways to deal with that. And today we're going to talk about the 3 ways to deal with that. The first way, let me get some water real quick. I'll just cut this part out. Hopefully this is mine. I don't think it is, but it's okay. The first way that we deal with that is to realize that it's not your battle to fight. And if anytime somebody's doing something within your spirit that is the only reason that they're doing it is to get to you, is to try to garner a reaction out of you, just know right then and there, guard your heart, guard your mind, and know that that is not time for you to respond in any way whatsoever. Hopefully you have boundaries in place to where you don't have to respond immediately. And then that goes into the second part, but the second way how to deal with your battle when you're starting over and is to realize that it's not your battle to fight. You will not have to fight this battle on your own. You actually won't have to fight it at all. And so that leads us into the second part. The second thing to do when you're faced with battles or you're faced with people trying to test, that's what it is. It's a test. A lot of times it's a test. The second thing is position yourself. So positioning yourself could look like setting boundaries. That's a good way to position yourself. And when you feel like there's a battle that you're needing to fight, or you feel like you're being attacked, or you may feel like you're being watched, you may feel like you're being monitored, and it's just that uncomfortable feeling. And so positioning is a way to, like I said, look like the form of a boundary. That could look like the form of setting a boundary. That could look like the form of having systems in for you to respond to the individual. For instance, you may have a significant other that you may have to co-parent with. And so instead of having to communicate with them over the phone, you could just use your email, or you can use a third-party app to coordinate logistics with the children instead of having to deal with them directly face-to-face, or even talking on the phone may be too much for you. So that's the way to position yourself. And it also documents the conversation. It helps to protect you legally in the future if you have to take it there if it has to go the legal route for mediation purposes, or there's a judge that needs to monitor the communication. Those are great ways to document the communication. So position yourselves. So basic note, like I said, the first way is to know and realize that this is not your battle to fight. It's going to be fought by the Lord. The second part is to position yourself, which could entail setting boundaries. It could entail not responding immediately. You know what I mean? Give it time for you to process it. Position yourself it could be not responding at all. If it doesn't have anything to do with anything, if you know that there was some communication that wasn't necessarily meant for you, meaning there's no need to respond. If it doesn't have anything to do with money, children, business, if it doesn't have anything to do with anything else, if it was just something to garner a reaction out of you, then there's no need to respond. That's another way to position yourself. And then the third part of how to deal with the battles that may come along with you starting over is to wait on God. We got to be patient, because a lot of times you will see immediate reciprocity when it comes to these people and their attacks or their so-called attacks. And sometimes it takes time for them to reap what they sow, for coming after you've decided to move forward with your life without them. And so therefore God is dealing with them internally and outwardly. So it could look like where they'll be living in turmoil because they know you didn't react the way they wanted you to react. There's an inner turmoil that goes on with that. And that's for them to deal with. That has nothing to do with you. You're moving forward. You no longer are moved by anybody else's emotions because you have been delivered from that spirit of people pleasing. You've moved forward from that spirit of idolatry where you are looking at them like they're the end all be all. You've repented for being in that. You've repented for living the life of idolatry. You've repented for idolizing, putting someone before God. You've repented from that, and so therefore the person is not used to that. So they're going through some inner turmoil, you know what I mean? And you just got to leave that there. Therefore, that's why God is going to fight that battle for you, because now you are putting God first, and he's going to always take care of you because you're doing that. And so that's pretty much it. It's not a long video. I do have an example that I could share where I stayed still. I positioned myself, which is moving out, starting over. I positioned myself. I blocked certain individuals, and I've relegated the communication to a third-party app. And now I can also set boundaries within the app. If there are certain things that I can tell are going on where they're trying to dictate or try to manipulate my time, I can easily set the boundary within the app, and it's documented. So they're not going to go and do too much of anything. They're not going to kind of fly off the deep end because they know that the communication is being documented, and therefore they are relegated to what goes on in the app, and they have to pretty much adhere to it because they know that I could easily share that information with my lawyer, or I could easily share that information with his lawyer, or I could easily share that communication with any type of judge that we have to sit before with when it comes down to custody of the children or divorce and things like that. So that's a good example, and God is in control. I no longer I talked about fear in the beginning of the video. I no longer deal with the spirit of fear because I'm not trying to be caught in a snare trap. I want to live my life. I don't want to be continuously looking over my shoulder. I don't want to be relegated to go on certain routes, drive in certain ways down the street because I think somebody may be watching me or following me. I don't want to live that way anymore. So therefore, I'm giving that over to the Lord in prayer. I'm going to let God fight those battles for me going forward and just continue to live my life and continue to start over every day. So if this video resonated with you, let me know. And it is actually derived from a particular Bible verse. And it is, I'll try to remember to put it in the description box, but it is 2 Chronicles 20:17a. And it is, you will not need to fight in this battle. Position yourselves, stand still, and see the salvation of the Lord who is with you. So the Lord is with you. He'll never leave you nor forsake you. Position yourselves, stand still. You don't got to be all rah with these people because that's what they want. You know what I'm saying? And you can comment in the comments to stand still in the Lord, and because the Lord is with me. So you can comment that in the comments. I hope you all like and share this video. Please be sure to subscribe. And thank you. Thanks for watching. All right, love you. Bye.